Wow. Just wow. Look how much things up on my decks. Seriously? Now I know why YouTubers don't have a 9 to 5. Really start. I take 3 weeks for do my 9 to 5 and finish a project, and look what things up on my decks. Well, you know them say ain't no rest for the wicked and money don't grow up on trees, so let's just start it. Hello folks, and welcome to another episode of Technicational. My name is Peyton Wilmot, and today we'll be doing the full review of the Samsung Galaxy A6, which is a new phone that Samsung actually introduced, and it's supposed to be replacing the A7s. Now this is a mid-range phone, and to be honest with you, this is a very high-end feeling, spec-wise mid-range phone. So we're going to do the full review today and see if it's worth your money and if it's actually worth to be called a mid-range phone. So let's get right to it. So first thing first, we're going to get the specs and the build quality out the way so we can actually see what the phone is made of and see if it can handle day-to-day tasks. So first thing we're going to do is look at the spec sheet, and to be honest, let's just look at the back of the box. That's the best way to tell. And this is rocking 32 gigs of internal storage, 3 gigs of RAM, 16 megapixel front camera, 16 megapixel rear camera, a Super AMOLED HD Plus display that measures 5.6 inches. It has an octa-core processor that is 64-bit, and that's pretty much it for the specs. But on the phone itself, looking at the phone, you can see there's no actual front button, and they call this thing an infinity display. Now it doesn't actually look quite as good as a Galaxy S8 or S9 infinity display, but for a mid-range phone it is ridiculously sharp. So those are the main specs that you will see on the A6. Now looking at the phone and build quality, it has Gorilla Glass at the front, there's no front button, and at the back everything else is solid metal, which is pretty nice, makes it feel premium and durable. You have a fingerprint scanner at the back, you have the 16 megapixel camera that we talked about with a flash at the back as well, and at the front of the device you have a flash also with a next 16 megapixel camera. You have your USB port at the bottom, it's not USB Type-C, and you have your headphone jack at the bottom of the phone as well. Now at the side of the phone you have your volume down and up buttons. This is not a rocker. They're separated and they're actually clicky buttons. On the right side of the phone you have the speaker and you have the power button. So this particular version of the A6 is a Duos version that we got from the Samsung Experience store in the Tropical Plaza. Now that means it can use 2 SIMs. And unlike the S9 and the Note 8 that comes in Duos as well, this can use 2 SIM cards at the same time plus a memory card. So you don't have to give up whether you want to use 2 SIM cards or you want to use 1 SIM card with a memory card. You can actually use 2 SIM and a memory card at the same time. No worries. So all in all, the build quality for this A6, which is a mid-range phone, is great. You get fingerprint scanner, you get facial recognition, you have an infinity display. The only thing missing on this phone that would put it in the category of high-end is, give me a second to think here, because this kind of day in the high-range region, just looking at the specs. Oh yeah, IP68 certification. That's all it needs. Give me IP68 certification on an A6 and you know that's a high-end phone competing with the best out there, you understand? But unfortunately it doesn't have dust or water resistant, but that's just asking for too much or too greedy. So we're at the section that we talk about performance, and I want to remind you, although it have so much high-end features and parts, it's still a mid-range phone, and it's still priced as a mid-range phone. Well, depending on how you look at it. So the thing is, will it perform as a mid-range phone, or will it exceed your expectation and actually perform as a high-end phone? So the first thing we're going to do is actually run some games on it. And to be honest with you, for the 2 weeks I have this phone, I can say it doesn't exceed your expectation, but it does well. You can see that it's a mid-range phone by the fact that it play games okay, but you cannot have a lot of high-end demanding applications and games in the background running. You will start seeing apps crashing and actually closing by itself, force close. But for the most part, if you have 1 and 2 major apps in the background using, you don't have to worry, everything is okay. Oh, I just found this game, Darkness Rises. It is good. So as a mid-range phone, it functions good. It's just that the random crashes now and again when you have a lot of apps in the background is what you will have to deal with. But then again, it's a mid-range phone. It's not a Galaxy S9 and it's not a Note 8. So that's just something that comes with the territory. Now we're moving into the part that most people like to know about, and that's camera quality. And this phone comes with a 16 megapixel camera at the front and at the back. So the thing is, you expect to get good photos. Well, I don't know what it is, but I expect a certain quality from Samsung phones, and the A6, I don't know, it's just that it doesn't look like a Samsung camera phone. It's not bad, it's just that the pictures, even in full light, just comes out kinda blurry, soft. It's not sharp as how you would see it on a normal Samsung phone that took pictures. And it is apparent in the day, it's apparent in the night, it is just apparent all over. Now, this is not terrible, but it's not what I expected from a Samsung phone. So the pictures look okay, but they're a bit soft.
Hold on, you mean think soft?
Yeah, I mean soft, you
can't the girl in my car the thing soft. Yo, the business where I say you need to listen to some of this.
Girl, I said think tough.
Anyway, that was not what I'm talking about. They're not sharp. I don't know if there's an update coming out that makes the camera look a little bit sharper, but apart from that, it takes okay pictures day or night. And the flash is good at the front, and it takes good night selfie photos. It's just that it's soft. It doesn't look like a Galaxy phone took this picture. So the last thing we're going to talk about is battery life, and to be honest, this phone is pretty slim and small. I actually expected it to have horrible battery life, to be honest, because where would you fit a decent sized battery in something this sleek? But it's, to my surprise, it actually lasts me for a day and a half without pushing it too much. And when I pushed it to the limit, playing games, Facebook and everything, it actually gave me enough to come home at 20%. So definitely at 20%, when you come home, you have to put it on the charger. Now the thing about it is that this phone doesn't have fast charging at all, and it takes 2.5 hours to fully charge the phone from zero. So it would be nice that if it had fast charging, because you know it would negate the fact that you have to sit down for 2.5 hours to fully charge back the phone if it dies on you before you reach home. But again, it's a mid-range phone, so I can't really kill it, so to speak. So it's at the section now that I actually give my final thoughts. Whew, okay, the Galaxy A6 that is replacing the A7. Now, truth be told, I did the review on the A7, and to be honest, the A7 that I had performed better, to be honest. The fingerprint scanner was a bit faster. The one on this is very, slow. You put your hand on it and it takes about a second or a second and a half to open the phone. Not as fast as a S9 or a S8. Also, the performance wise, games performed better on the A7 than the A6. So Samsung, the A6 is supposed to be replacing the A7, so why not make it just as good or a little bit better? But those are just the downside, and it's not a lot of downsides for the A6. The display that you get for a mid-range phone is really good. Really good for playing games, really good for watching content on YouTube or just watching videos overall. The speaker is much better than the A7. It's loud, it's clear, it has a little bass in it, and also the fact that the fingerprint scanner is rear mounted is totally a plus. Well, some people might argue that they like the fingerprint scanner at the front, but I just feel it awkward to try to maneuver a phone this tall and try to unlock it with the front. It's much easier to hold it and unlock it from here. Anyhow, the phone itself is a pretty decent build, and for a mid-range phone, you're definitely getting your money worth. Your face unlock, you have 32 gigs of internal storage, and you can actually expand it with a memory card. It's dual SIM. Well, the ones from the Samsung Experience Store out here is dual SIM, and you also get a 60 megapixel camera at the front and back, although it's not as sharp, but that can be fixed with software updates. All in all, it's not a bad buy. I really do love this size of phone. It feels comfortable to hold, and you don't really feel like it's going to fall out your hand. Anyhow, folks, that's it. And if you want to see this in person and test it out, and you want to know the price of it currently is 50 something grand, 50 something K, 50 low 50s. Probably there's going to be a special, who knows, but that's the price for it in the Samsung Experience Store, and it's not a bad mid-range phone. Now, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for telling your friends about the channel, and I am looking forward to do the A6 Plus or the A8 Plus to see if it's a better performing camera and much faster fingerprint reader. Anyhow, guys, until next time, I'm Peyton Wilmot, and thanks for watching. Peace.
Snakes in the grass, you gotta watch where you step. Blood on the leaves, you either kill or be killed. When there's food on the table, you either eat or you starve. And when the sharks in the water, you either sink or you swim. It's a jungle out there. It's a jungle out there. It's a jungle out there.